Ladies and gentlemen, we are live coming to you guys and girls all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time. So we're going to jump straight into it. For people that see me on my YouTube and my Facebook, I have horrible my camera. My other camera was going out, so I had to come use this little webcam just to get me by for today. But here we are. So where are we now? Y'all give me 1 second. If y'all haven't done so already, please go ahead and make sure.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button.
As y'all already know, if you follow this show and you follow me and listen to anything I have to say, you will know I've been talking about this for a while now. So if you haven't known about this, this is on the the rumor mill right now. So let's start off with starters. Let's say if you didn't even know what the S&P 500 is. The S&P 500 is an index made by Standard & Poor, right? I think it was two people's last name, and they pretty much take the top 500 companies in America, and those top 500 companies in America, that's what is the benchmark of our finance. So what I mean by the benchmark of finance, people always look at what the S&P 500 is doing compared to their investments. So when you look at an investment, right, you turn around, let's say if an investment comes to me, and the first thing people compare it to is the S&P 500. How does your investment pair up to the S&P 500? How does your portfolio pair up to the S&P 500? How does your rental properties, anything else? So it is the benchmark of finance. So I know for my military folks out there who was with the TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, every 401k plan out there, pension plan, fund plan, has the S&P 500. It may be called a common stock. It may be called large cap. It may be called large and mid cap, but it's always usually in people's portfolio, the S&P 500. That's what people gauge how the economy is doing, how the top 500 companies in America. So that's for starters. That's why it's such a big deal, because if you're in the S&P 500, that's like somebody saying you're one of the top 500 companies in the world. So let's take a look at this, y'all. So as you guys and girls know, Uber, man, he has done some great things this year for me. S&P 500 requirements. Let's look at the requirements. Market cap requirements. They got a couple of requirements. You got to be like a U.S. company, all of the good stuff like that. So hold on. Here we go. What y'all saying over here in these comments? Got my guy Al over here. Y'all say what's up, man? What's up to Al here? I didn't mean to get that. Click on that right there. Let me share my screen with y'all. I got the wrong thing showing to y'all, but we're gonna get it together tonight. Man, did my screen go? Here we go. Okay, here we go. Type it in. So we're gonna take over the requirements. We're gonna talk about this, y'all. What does this mean? Uber now being considered one of the top 500 companies. What's up, everybody who's live on Instagram? Requirements to enter. My phone run today. Buddy called me. Hey, Prince, what's going on? And he said, what are you thinking about Uber? You're thinking about it's time to get out, move sideways to Uber. I said, you know what? Y'all give me 1 second here. I'm trying to find this. I don't want to know market cap requirements. I think Investopedia. Shout out to Investopedia. Let's go to Investopedia and show everybody here. There we go. We're on Investopedia. Arnold says, good evening. Good evening. I think that's Arnold. I am. What's going on, Arnold? Arnold right there. So we got people over here on Instagram. We live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and who else know where we're being shared around? So you guys tell your friends too. So here we go, right? So the S&P 500, right? It's an equitable index made of the S&P 500 largest companies traded on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. So I know in order to be added to the S&P 500, you have to be traded on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, right? The S&P 500 is calculated by adding each company floating adjustable market cap. So you got to have a certain market cap. Uber has a over 100 billion market cap now, since the stock price has gone up to $55, $56 from earlier this year when it was 20 something dollars. So that's the first thing that's crazy. Oh, I want to make sure I don't knock my other camera over here, that we're live on Instagram. Another thing is, come on, Investopedia. Well, I got so many things on here. In order to be included in S&P 500, a company must meet certain requirements, including a specific market cap, at least 14 billion. Uber has that. Having a majority of its shares in the public hands or floating, some people like to call it. Uber definitely has that. And it's publicly traded for over the last year. Uber definitely has that. And I think it has to have a daily volume of like 250,000. You got to be traded a lot. People got to be buying into you, all of the good stuff like that. So Uber is definitely making headway. What does this mean for Uber? Anybody out there knows, I've been watching this company for the last couple of years. When Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter, now known as X, I said, man, please, Elon, don't buy Twitter, buy Uber, right? You see Uber is up over 122% this year. Y'all get that? 122%, becoming my best performance stock of 2023. What's Uber? 123%, right? Let me see what we got here. So now let's take a look into it some more. See, Travis Hayward said, wouldn't that mean a company will get kicked out of the S&P 500? Yes, it will. The S&P 500, someone will get kicked out of the S&P 500 while Uber gets added in. Now, people are saying, Prince, why is this talk for Uber? Uber last earnings. So you got to have 4 earnings that are positive, that you've been making money, all of the good stuff like that. Uber has had that. It reported its earnings. I did miss it. I didn't catch Uber's earnings like I usually do. That's probably when I was a little bit out of commission, but that's the things I like to see as well. So here we go. Now, let's take a look at the market cap here, right? You take Uber market cap. So here's the market cap here at 116 billion. So it definitely meets the market cap requirements. So it has the market cap of 116 billion. It also has the market cap of, you got the PE ratio of 109, meaning it's extremely overvalued. But when you look at the competitors, DoorDash, and you look at the competitors like your DoorDash and your other things that are out there, it don't even compare, right? So that's what caught it on my eyes. It came on my eyes. Shout out to Clarence Duncan. I don't know if he's in here. He's live on Facebook or IG or wherever it's out there. Oh, shout out to everybody on Instagram too. He said, who's viewing? Somebody said a WWE legend is viewing. Shout him out. Am I missing somebody? Please shout out WWE legend in the building. Oh, we got a, oh, he didn't tell me who was it. He says viewing. Okay. Al, tell me who's viewing. I didn't know who was viewing. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as we pull this up, let me pull this back so everybody won't have to sit back and see this. So now you see Burns was the first place that I saw that I was like, oh, this could have some legitimacy to it. So, and this could happen as of Friday. Uber could be added to the S&P 500 as of Friday because it has the market cap. It has the 100 billion in market cap, which is blowing out. I want at least say about 20 companies off the S&P 500. It has the consecutive profits. Okay. Oh, Salvador. I just met him the other day. Thank you for tuning in, man. WWE legend in the building. I just saw him in Colorado Saturday. Definitely nice to meet you. And, grew up watching you fight The Undertaker and fight Stone Cold, Rock, everybody. So WWE legend. Let me give him a round of applause. I know y'all can't hear it on the Instagram, but I know y'all can see it on the, what you call it? Wave at everybody over here in Instagram. Oh, there we go. Where else we got? Okay, everybody. Okay, all right, Instagram. I see y'all over here. Okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why every quarter the S&P 500 is rebalanced, right? The S&P 500 is rebalanced by, those criteria I said. Got to be an American company. You got to have over like 14 billion in market cap. consecutive, like 4 consecutive quarters of profitability that it's reporting. And guess what? I know somebody commented and said, Prince, doesn't that mean somebody else will fall off? Yes, it's a bunch of companies in the S&P 500 that should fall off. So that the fact that it fell off is a good thing. That's why it's the benchmark of finance. It doesn't care what's going on. It just kind of tracks the top 500 companies. So the reason, and that's why they said this could happen tomorrow. I doubt if it happens tomorrow, but I'll be shocked. But it's a possibility because they recapitalize it every quarter. Every quarter, you talk about 20 years ago, we had this thing called Blockbuster. I know I love to beat up on Blockbuster, but hey, it was there. Blockbuster, guess what wasn't around? Airbnb wasn't around 20 years ago, but guess what is around now? Airbnb. So guess what happens? Blockbuster fall off, Airbnb comes in, Blockbuster falls off, or I don't know, Redbox falls off, Netflix comes in. So that's what make the S&P 500. What's going on, everybody on the Instagram world? Okay. Yeah. So when you see these type of things, ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's such a big deal. So I've been hyping big on Uber. Y'all see me talk about Uber a lot because I'm a fundamentalist. I watch the fundamentals. I read the fundamentals. And when I compared Uber, I looked at that sector that it was in. First, one of my buddies brought it to me. I was like, oh, I don't like Uber. Yeah, I don't. Lyft came out. Lyft was the hot thing. People act like they don't know now, but Lyft was at $80. So everybody came to me and was just like, Prince, you got this Uber, you got, Lyft, who you think is going to win? And when I broke down the finances, I was like, wow, Uber was at $78. Uber was at like, I don't know, $30, 20, $30, somewhere in that time frame at the time. Well, when I looked at the finances, Uber finances was just crazy compared to Lyft. So I went even further. I said, well, let me look at DoorDash and Grubhub. I don't even think Grubhub is public. I think it was DoorDash, the other one that's publicly traded. And nobody compared next to Uber. Then when the pandemic happened in 2020, that's when Lyft, now $11, Uber is now $56 because that separated everybody. When the pandemic hit, people stopped catching rides, but guess what? Everybody started ordering Uber Eats, right? So that was the drastic difference that I saw between Uber Eats and the difference I saw between Uber Eats and Lyft, right? So Uber starts to take off. I look at his finances. They had a horrible year last year. It still was great. This year, up 122%. And now they're saying Uber now is on a chopping block to enter the S&P 500, mainly because of because of what it's done, right? So now what happens is, yes, that will kick somebody else off. Somebody else will fall off the S&P 500. Uber will come up. I hate that I got this crappy camera on today, but y'all, I went in and turned my camera on and realized I left it on from like 2 days ago. Battery was completely shot. So, over here on YouTube, when I see myself, like, man, I'm looking all cloudy, like I'm in a Zoom call almost. But yeah, I got a Sony AV. Hey, it happens. And I say, you know what? I'm not gonna let that stop the show. I'm gonna come with this show regardless. I done shot with it, tried and true for many, many years. It don't take nothing to go back. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, well, why is this a huge deal for Uber? This is a huge deal for Uber because this is a huge deal for Uber because now that means every time you buy the S&P 500, every time you go put your money into your retirement account, your 401k, anything, the S&P 500 is those companies in the S&P 500 gets a piece of that. Your Teslas, your Berkshires, your Googles, your Amazons, all of the stuff like that. And that'll be a huge cash flow button for Uber to pick up, to be put up beside some of the top 500 companies in America, because you have to be an American company in order to be in the S&P 500. And it is our benchmark, ladies and gentlemen. It is our benchmark. Now, there is a little bit of something here. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Rock Steady Stocks. He said, what's up, bro? Keep teaching. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. He over there on Instagram Live. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all of the good stuff. And, of course, this is a podcast anyway. So you're going to be able to catch this on Spotify. And I heard something was wrong with my Apple. I got to fix that up. But whatever. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is huge because Uber has gotten the legitimacy. And when you put this inside of S&P 500, you know how many people, whether they like it or not, are going to be investing into Uber. Now, the question is, Uber, the only thing that can happen to Uber on the downside is all this cash start to come in. The first thing I would do, I would buy my competitor. Uber, if you tune in, you listen, what you should be, buy DoorDash or buy Lyft. I'm telling you right now. Buy one of your competitors out. Lyft is at a bargain now at $11. DoorDash, I don't even know why it's priced up that high, but it'd probably be illegal. They'd probably call it a monopoly if Uber tried to buy Lyft. But if I was Uber, I would look at to buy one of the competitors in the space, right? Either Grubhub, DoorDash. What was the other one called? Grubhub, DoorDash. I think it's DoorDash. Grubhub, DoorDash, or the other one, Lyft. I would buy one of them. Now, the downside, I want everybody to listen to this. The biggest threat to Uber, as long as its finances are strong, I'm with it. The biggest threat to Uber is if somebody came out and brought a competitor. What do I mean by that? Tesla. Tesla can come out and buy Lyft. Tesla could come out and buy Grubhub. Tesla could come out and buy, what's the other one? DoorDash, right? And imagine if Tesla brought DoorDash and put DoorDash on those carts. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? On those self-driving vehicles. That would be a significant problem to Uber. Because for the longest, I told you guys, if you guys go back, if I was in my office, I could show you the book. It's called This Little Book That Still Beats the Market. And it tells you, and Peter Lynch made this very famous too, even sometimes when you're a bull, you just have to wait to be right. I tell people now, y'all saw me say Uber for how long? The next one is Want, W-A-N-T. That's the next one. I think it's probably like 20, 30 bucks right now. Do I see it going to $1 million? No, I could see it going definitely to 50 bucks within the next year or two. And when you make some investments, sometimes you just have to wait to be right. And when you are right, you win, right? So that is the particular thing I want to talk about, which is so exciting because y'all know I've been an Uber fan. I told people about Uber a bunch of times. Now Uber is in the conversation, whether it's this week or next week, when they recapitalize, just move around the capital in the S&P 500, Uber could be added to the S&P 500, meaning that is a butt ton of money that's coming into Uber. And also that means that's great for us investors. Now, here's the tricky part. This is just a real conversation I'm going to have with everybody that's tuned in on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever. Uber went up 120% in 1 year. Do you think it's going to do that next year? Heck no. Do you think it's going to do that in the next 2 3? I mean, the numbers are not there to say that, right? So here's the thing about Uber. Some people say, Prince, sell it. Time to sell it. Cut it and sell it. Maybe it is. Who knows? When I come back and look at this podcast in 5 years, I'll be like, dang, I should have sold. Or, man, I should have kept it. See, people love to tell these fake, phony stories out there where they're just like, oh, if you had purchased Uber or Amazon 20 years ago with $1,000, you have $1 million a day. How many people, if you invested $1,000 in Amazon 20 years ago and you saw that money double, you saw that money quadruple, you saw that money go up 500%, 600%. When you saw that information, how many of y'all would have the gall? How many of y'all would have the gall to keep it? Most people gonna sell it. See somebody wave at me. Hey, how you doing? How you doing there? Most people, how many people gonna have the gall to keep it? Most people will sell it at 100%, 200%. Hey, I'm up. That's the hard part. Because right now, Mr. Market is always going to be right. If I turn around and sell Uber today, you know what's going to happen with all that? Oh, I'm going to jump back in at this time. I'm going to get back in at this time. What's going to happen in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? I'm going to come back and say, man, Uber's $1,000. How many of y'all got those stories? Y'all can look right here on this YouTube channel or Instagram and saw me doing lives on Amazon at 200, 300 bucks. This is before it went up to 3,000. So I look back on some videos, crap, man, I should have just brought that Apple. Man, I can't believe Apple was at that price. I can't believe Amazon was at that price. I can't believe Facebook was at that price. You're going to do the same exact thing with Uber. 20 years from now, you're going to be like, man, I remember I brought that thing for $20, $50. Now look at it. It's $300, $400, $500, $600 or whatever, right? You just never know. It's just that now Uber, you the king of the hill, you the king of the castle to run that domain. Go on out here and make me proud and happy and buy DoorDash or buy Lyft. I've been saying it. Just go ahead and get Lyft out the way. Just go ahead and put them out their misery. I know you want to wait until their stock is down. Do you want to turn around and do it? But anyway, that's the thing about it. You know, Barnes put out this report. Hey, I'm just happy to see Uber has became profitable, reported 4 straight strong earnings, 100 billion market cap now, dominating the entire space like it's always been doing. Of course, it's a U.S. company. Of course, you see them in the court. Of course, people are going to fight them. When we was riding on horses and we came out with the first automobile, people had problems with the automobile when it came out. People had problems with the internet when it came out. People had problems with video games when they came out. People always have problems with change every time. So, but guess what? With every problem change creates, it creates more opportunity. Look how the internet has turned into, how many people it has turned into millions and billionaires. How many people have become millionaires and billionaires off of an app, right? So every time technology comes, yes, it does something bad, but it does something good too. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be my time. I thank y'all for tuning in. Uber headed to the SP 500. And of course, I'm going to be live if it does, because, you know, that's a great stamp of approval. But just like you get in the S&P 500, if you don't keep building and growing, you won't be a part of the S&P 500 either. Just like somebody's going to get dropped off. And we'll tell you, we'll do an episode on who got dropped, who got picked up. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't done so already, make sure you go check out my book series. That's right, an entire children's book series titled Wesley Learns. Name behind my 12-year-old son, now 12-year-old son. Wesley learns to invest. Wesley learns about credit. And Wesley learns about insurance are available hardcover, paperback, and audio. And y'all stay tuned for April of next year, where it will be Wesley Learns About Real Estate. After a 5-year wait, I'm back, coming back, getting the throne back, showing back from the last, 2015? From 2015 to 2019, I'm back now. So y'all stay tuned. It'll be some surprises there. But Uber headed to the S&P 500. We definitely happy about that. And to the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me do around the globe. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. And thank you.